Dear students, we were discussing about colloidal solution. So we know that colloidal solutions are heterogeneous solution. Although they behave, when we look, they look like a homogeneous, but the solution is heterogeneous. The nature of the colloidal solution is heterogeneous solution. Okay. So here then, what are the properties of these heterogeneous solutions? Today we are going to discuss the properties of colloidal solution, and we know that the colloidal solution is of two-system solution. What are those two systems? Dispersed phase and dispersion medium. Okay, whereas the components which are in small amount, that is called dispersed phase, and that dispersed phase which is going to dissociate or dissolve in that solution medium, that is dispersion medium, the medium which allow to. Okay, so here the medium in which colloidal particles are disperses. Colloidal particles are disperses, that is what? Dispersion medium. So here this colloidal solution is of two type systems. Two type system. What are those? Dispersed phase and dispersion medium. Dispersed phase and dispersion medium. Let us discuss what is this dispersed phase. Okay, so let us consider dispersed phase. What is this dispersed phase? So dispersed phase, the components of colloid present in the components of colloid present in what? Present in small amount. Present in small amount. Dispersed phase is the component of colloid present in small amount is called dispersed phase. Is called dispersed phase. Dispersed phase. Then what about dispersion medium? Dispersion medium. The medium in which the colloid particles are dispersed. The medium in which the colloid particles disperses. That is what we used to say, that dispersion medium. So here the dispersion medium may be solid, liquid, depending on the state of matter. Again, there are 8 different types of colloid solutions we are going to find. Okay, 8 types of colloid solution. Then we can I am going to show that table how this colloid solution depending on the state, solid, liquid and gas. The solid dispersed phase and solid dispersion medium, what we used to say that solution, and comparing the liquid and gases, we are going to discuss those types of colloid. So first let us discuss dispersed phase is what? The component of colloid present in small amount is called dispersed phase. And dispersion medium, the medium in which colloidal particles disperse or suspend themselves. Colloid particles disperse are called dispersion medium. Dispersion medium. Okay. So here the dispersed phase and dispersion medium, where the components of collide present in small amount is called dispersed phase, and here dispersion medium, the medium in which collided particles disperse, that are called dispersion medium. So here, depending on the state of matter, depending on the state of substance, so what the solid, liquid and gases, again we are going to differentiate the types of collide solution. Types of collide solution. Usually it is of two types. We come to know that. What are those? Dispersed phase and dispersion medium. Two type system. Okay. These two systems again we are going to classify on the basis of the solid, liquid and gaseous state of the substances. Okay. So before going to that, we'll discuss what are the properties of this collide. Okay, how do we come to know that the solution it is a collide or it is a suspension? On the basis of the properties of solution, we come to know that this solution belongs to the collide solution or suspension. Already in the previous class, we come to know that the properties of suspension. Now we will discuss the properties of collide. So in that property, first one comes, that is nature of the solution. You know what is the nature of colloidal solution? It is heterogeneous. Okay. Even though the components are homogeneous, they are going to thoroughly mixed, but they appear to be homogeneous, but the nature of collide is heterogeneous. Okay. Let us discuss properties. First one, nature. What is the nature of collide solution? The heterogeneous. The nature is what? Heterogeneous. Heterogeneous. Even though it appears homogeneous, but the nature of collide is what? Heterogeneous. Then second property of the collide solution is visibility, or size of particles. It is the size of the particle. Size of particles. So here the size of the particle collide in the solution is of about 10 raised to minus 7 to 10 raised to minus 5 centimeter. 10 raised to minus 7 to 10 raised to minus 5 centimeter, or 1 to 100 nanometer, or it can be written as 1 to 100 nanometer. Nano means how much? 10 to the power minus 9. Okay, remember it is 1 to 100 nanometer, or you can write in terms of centimeter, that 10 raised to minus 7 to 10 raised to minus 5 centimeter. Okay. Then third one property is visibility. What about the visibility of colloidal particle? So they not visible to the naked eye. Visibility. So they cannot be visible. Okay. So not visible to the naked eye. Not visible to naked eyes. Okay. So to observe this, it is not possible to see to naked eye, but visible under ultra microscope. Okay. Visible under ultra microscope. Ultra microscope. Okay. Then fourth property of colloidal solution. Scattering of light. Scattering of light. Is it possible or not? These particles makes the light to scatter. So here the scattering of beam of light by colloidal particles is called Tyndall effect. Means you know that whenever, so everywhere huge plants in a forest. Okay, the dark, what we used to say that the fully complete thick forest. Then in any of the small hole, the light allowed to pass through it, how it is going to observe? It's going to scatter the complete. Okay, leave it. In your home only, if any of the if the power is not there, that time if you turn on your candle or any light, how it covers the complete area. Okay. And here those particles which are present in it, they makes the light to scatter. Those particles helps to scatter that beam of light. So here the same thing. What happens in colloidal solution? When the light passes through that solution, the particles which are present in the solution, those makes to scatter the beam of light. That scattering effect we used to say that Tyndall effect. Okay. So here Tyndall effect is occurs in the colloidal solution. So write down the scattering of light. So here the scattering of a beam of light, the scattering of a beam of light, the scattering of a beam of light by colloidal particles, is called, what is called? It's called Tyndall effect. Okay, it's called Tyndall effect. Okay, what is this Tyndall effect? Tyndall effect is what? When the particles makes the beam of light to scatter. Okay, the scattering of a beam of light by colloidal particles is called Tyndall effect. So here, whenever the beam of light enters in either in a dark room or in a dark thick forest, it's going to scatter in all possible directions. Okay, if it is a small slit is there, then light is allowed to pass through that slit. Then what you are going to observe, just if you hold it, so light will allow to pass through in this hole. Okay, so like that, then later it is going to scatter because of the particles which are present in the air. So here that effect is to say the Tyndall effect. So whenever the light beam or a sunlight enters into a dark room through a small hole or a small window, I think you all have observed in villages the homes will be constructed and they are going to leave some space, okay, in their terrace. Now everywhere we are going to observe that concrete buildings, like the cement building. Before they were not a cement building, they used to put some wood pieces and some openings will be there, and with that openings the light is going to fall through. So once that light falls, the particles, we are going to observe those particles. Even we used to play with those to catch the particles, right? Because this is what, whenever in a small hole, if the light enters, it is going to scatter. In the same way here, this solution, those particles which are present, then the size, see that the size of those particles are 1 to 100 nanometer. It is not possible to see in our naked eye. Okay, so those size particles help to scatter that beam of light. So here the scattering of light process is possible in the colloidal solution. Okay, the next property is stability. What is that? Stability. So whether these particles are going to settle down or they are going to unstable or stable, that property represents stability. Okay, so whether the particles of colloid are stable or unstable, that gives the property stability. Okay, so next property of colloid particles is stability. when left undistributed. If some particles are not distributed completely, they left undistributed, then also these particles are not settled down. And which solution they are going to settle down? They are going to settle down in suspension. Okay, in suspension solution, the undistributed particles are going to settle down, but in colloid they are not going to settle down, they are going to suspend in the solution. Okay, so stability, because they are colloid is quite stable, they are quite stable, but in suspension they are unstable. Okay, that is stability. So here the particles do not settle down. The particles do not settle down when it is when left undistributed. When left undistributed. That is, left undistributed means that is a colloid is quite stable. That is, a colloid is quite stable. It is quite stable. Okay. So here the stability is the property of the colloid particles. What is that stability? The particles that do not settle down when left undistributed means these are somewhat stable. So because of that stableness, the particle stable, the maximum whatever if for some amount they left undistributed, then also they are not going to settle down, means they are dispersed in that dispersion medium. They are dispersed. Okay. So therefore these are quite stable. Then next, filterability. Okay. So if they are not settled down, then filterable is possible. So when they are going to do the filter, just imagine the tea is prepared. Okay, you are going to have that tea. What you are going to do? You are going to filter that liquid of tea. So that tea leaves will be left behind, and if whatever that any other components if you mixed, those components will left behind, and that solution you are going to take. Okay. The same way here, there is no particles that are not going to settle down. Then how that filterability is it possible? Do you think that filterability is possible in colloidal solution? So here it is not possible to separate from any filtration. Then for any other physical method is followed can separate the particles. But by the method of filtration it is not possible. Filtration you come to know that where if the sand is mixed with mud is mixed with the water. If you do that filtration, some particles will follow with that water, which are in heavy. They are not dispersed in that solution. Okay, they will settle down and you can filter. So these are the example what I am giving to understand that property. Filterability means what? Here this colloid already become, they are not going to settle down. If they are not going to settle down in the solution, okay, in the dispersion medium, and they are, some of them are, those particles are left distributed, means those particles are not distributed throughout that solution, they are left undistributed. Then can we separate those particles from that colloidal solution with the method of filtration? No, that is not possible. So filtration is not possible. The next property is filterability. Filterability. So here the particles cannot be separated from the mixture by filtration. The particles cannot be separated the mixture, separated from the mixture. The particles cannot be separated from the mixture by filtration. This is the property of filterability. And how can we separate? They can be separated by, can you imagine? They can be separated by centrifugation. Centrifugation. So we know that centripetal and centrifugal force. While discussing the force, we know that there are the centrifugal force and centripetal force. What are those force? Centripetal means the force which attracts the object towards the center. That is centripetal force. Right? Whatever the planets and the stars, the sun and planets, they are, when they are orbiting around the sun, their centripetal force is acting between. Here centrifugal. Can you imagine that? Here, when the force attracts the objects thrown away from the center. Okay, whenever you could have seen that the spinning machine, okay, the spinning machine or the object, the force will be at the center, but the objects will move away from the center. So that due to that centrifugation, here those substances can be separated. It is completely you will come to know that centrifugation. So this is if we consider magnetic machine. Okay, so here these like round rotating tubes will be there. So there the solution is going to place. When it starts rotating, they start moving like this. So here they throw away from the center, that is centrifugation. Best example, that spinning clothes. In a washing machine, when the clothes are get spin, so then the drum is going to rotate. The drum is going to rotate, so that cloths are going to move away from the center. That is what used to say that centrifugation. So by using that method, here these colloid particles can be separated by centrifugation method. Okay. So these are what some properties of colloidal solution. Another is that is transparency. So almost these colloids are translucent. These are translucent. I told you that what is that translucent in nature? Translucent in nature means transparency, the complete visible. Okay, if you are going to observe here the object and it is going to be visible. Okay, it is transparency like glass. We used to say that transparency in nature, which is visible clearly. Translucent is what? It is not visible clearly. If you take a paper which is the oil spot paper, okay, oil patches paper, and observe the light or any objects with that paper, what you are going to observe there? Blurred, okay, not clear, but somewhat you can observe. It is not a clear picture. Such type of solid, that is what we used to say, translucent. Those materials we used to say that translucent. So here the colloidal is also translucent in nature. Okay, the next property, that is transparency. So even if you take the tissue also, like the thin tissues if you take, or some plastic bags also, okay, those are called somewhat the translucent. The next property is transparency. So here transparency is what? Colloids are translucent in nature. Colloids are translucent. I'm sorry. nature. So here, the transparency, almost colloids are translucent in nature. The example, milk, then smoke. We can see that, right? In milk also somewhat if you, the light is going to allow to that milk, okay, with a milk glass if you take, so that somewhat unclear objects can be visible. Such type of, that is example for colloids. Now we'll discuss the types of colloids. These are properties of colloids. Now we'll discuss the types of colloids. I told you, depending on the states of matter, these are colloids. That is dispersion medium and dispersed phase. Okay, considering that the colloids are classified as 3. So here, types of colloids. Types of colloids. Okay. So now here, dispersed phase and dispersion medium. Okay, dispersed phase and dispersion medium. So here I will consider dispersed phase as solid and dispersion medium is liquid. So here it is going to form that what we used to call it as sol. Okay, it is called as SOL. So then if dispersed phase and dispersion medium. So here dispersed phase is liquid. Okay, dispersed phase is liquid or liquid or solid. Liquid or solid, and dispersion medium is gas. So this is what we used to say, that aerosol. 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 So here, if it is solid, we are going to say it as a solid aerosol, or liquid, only we are going to pronounce it as aerosol. Then next, if the dispersed phase and dispersion medium. So here, if dispersed phase is liquid, and dispersion medium is also liquid. Dispersion medium is also liquid. That is what we used to say, that emulsion. Okay, EMULSION. Emulsion. Okay. So according to these dispersed phase and medium, there are different types of solution. 8 combinations are there, so that we can discuss with different dispersed phase and dispersion medium and the type of solution and each example for each of the solution. Okay, for sol, aerosol and emulsion. So here, depending on the state of dispersed phase and dispersion medium, 8 different types of colloids are possible. Depending on dispersed phase and medium, 8 different colloids are possible. Let us discuss what are those 8 different colloids. dispersion medium, 8 different types of colloids possible. 8 different types of colloids are possible. Okay, so what are those? We discuss now. Okay, first take down here dispersed phase. Okay. Here dispersion medium, then type and examples. Okay, make a table here. I'm going to tell you one by one, so we'll consider here. So first one, dispersed phase is solid and dispersion medium is also solid. Told you, if both are solid, what is the type of solution here? The type of solid is solid. The colloid, how we are going to say that? Solid. What are those examples? So we have seen that the different colored gemstones. Okay, in that almost in gemstones we can observe that it's different colored. Okay, blue, green, white, and sometimes even in milky stone. What we used to say that milky glass or even pearl also. If you go to observe, just to observe that there is a dispersed. Both are in solid. Whatever the particles are there, they are also solid, and the medium is also solid. Such type of colloids are called solid salt. So here you can give the example, the colored gemstones. You can see that according to the zodiac signs, we used to wear those finger rings, right, which are made up of those such gemstones, different colors like blue, green and yellow. Okay, so those are comes under the colloid of solid here, right. Then next example, that is solid liquid. Dispersed phase is solid and dispersion medium is liquid. So this is what the type we used to say it salt, only salt. Okay. For example for this is milk of magnesia. The yesterday I had given those only you can consider here. Starch in water or milk of magnesia. So these are some chemical substances. Okay, the next ones we'll try to do. So here, today class I am going to end up at this point. Okay, the types of colloids, and in the next class we'll discuss the different types of colloids.